Charlie the comedian is going places. That's the punchline, but I'll be damned if I can't figure out a proper setup. What the heck kind of setup could I bring to the table for this? I mean, it's funny. It's kind of dark if you think about it. I don't know, maybe it's too intelligent? Do you think I should take my name out of the punchline? Make it less selfish, more general, so the people can empathize with it better? The cabbie simply looks at me as I Gatling gun questions at him. He had asked me in his broken English what I did for a living in an effort to make small talk, and I think I may have exhausted his linguistic skills already. He just stared forward and didn't respond at all. I was about to ask another question when the cab stopped, and he spouted the only other words he clearly knew, which consisted of dollar values for the ride. After plopping some crumpled bills into his hand, I grabbed my one small suitcase from the other seat and stepped out into the cool night air. And loud, annoying sounds of the Los Angeles airport. It had to be almost midnight, and the noise this place was making was like 3 goats and a herd of elephants mid-coitus with some excellent reverb. I step through the sliding doors, ticket and ID in hand, check in with one of those amazing technological wonders, a self-kiosk. After it yelled at me in several different languages other than English, and warbled for 10 minutes about how I may or may not be Charlie Masterson, it finally vomited out my boarding pass. Wonders of the modern world! Hauling my ass to the security check like a cracked-out Miley Cyrus... Wait, is that redundant? And not only redundant, wouldn't it be running away from security check if I was... Whatever. I ran my ass to the TSA check-in and was greeted with a long line. Ah, the joys of airport security. Removing our shoes in order to enjoy the stank of each other's feet. The chucking of important electronics and private toiletries into little plastic tubs, and as I strut my way to the giant capsule-like detector, and they tell me to lift up my arms, I decide to make a couple of devil horns and rock my head out. Hey, it's the middle of the night. I bombed in LA, and I'm all but broke. You gotta find the little things to keep you smiling. Unfortunately, the machine and the TSA agent didn't quite agree. It beeped, he yelled, I got dragged to the other side of a screen, and voila! I'm getting the old touchy-touchy and the crotchy-crotchy by some old fat guy. Hopefully, this isn't a sign of the rest of the night. After I will myself with all powers of self-control not to respond when he asked if I had anything to declare, that I declare that he has bad dandruff, and I could see his Sasquatch butt crack, he let me go. The delays had given me just enough time to run again at top speeds to the gate. You see, this is where that Miley joke would have been much better. I barely managed to get to the door just as they were closing. Bustling through, I try to find my aisle seat. I don't know what kind of double-edged sword this was, but in this flight of jerks, there were 2 empty seats in a row right next to the emergency exit. Hooray! I get to sit unmolested with no one next to me. Damn it that I have to have the idea that if something were to happen, I have to help out with getting these jerks to safety. I flop into the seat and let out a massive sigh. Red-eye flight out of this place and back home to Portland. Charlie the comedian was going places. After stowing that little suitcase under my seat, I settled into it. I wiggled about like a dog with worms trying to scratch his balloon knot. You know, gotta unscrew the last person who was sitting here. I shut my eyes and exhale a bit, and re-inhale the plane's air. God, I hate airplane air. It doesn't smell rancid or anything. It's actually like the opposite. It smells sterile. Like I'm in the air conditioning system of a hospital, but unlike a hospital, it's not free or roaming. It's pressurized. It's pressed up on you like a big invisible iron lung, filling your lungs with the breath of life, but still smothering you all over. I don't know how people deal with it, but to me, it's annoying. It's frustrating. This is fucking maddening. I hate it. Fucking hate it. Vaguely aware of my cabin mates. They're rustling, they're crying, they're low murmuring, they're snoring. I hear someone coming out of the lavatory, sniffling and coughing. How could they possibly handle this irritating air? I'm rustled out of my headspace by a man's voice.
Excuse me.
My eyes go up and see a middle-aged man in a Hawaiian shirt and jeans. Oh, jeez. He's sitting next to me. Great. There goes my one last little bit of silver lining. You jerk. Am I gonna get ass or crotch? I ask with a sarcastic smirk.
Excuse me?
I take a look at the guy and instantly realize I'm not gonna like him. Hawaiian shirt, jeans, sunglasses over his forehead, sitting on a military cut. He's not exactly ugly, but it's clear he's had his face beat the hell out of over the years. It's clear he's athletic, but he's got this big girth around his shirt. It's like looking at someone's hard-ass retired dad. I don't like him. You know, you're gonna shove your crotch or your ass in my face. I wanna know if I have to get a magnifying glass for a gas mask. I realize my irritation and my predisposition towards him are guiding my mouth, and he's clearly picking up on that based on how he glared down at me without answering. I let out an apology and retract my legs. Sorry, man. I'm just having a rough night. Guess I can't even be a comedian in or out of a gig.
Your apology is accepted.
He states flatly and walks through, giving me a face full of ass. At least he didn't fart. He plops down with a harumph. Again, man, I'm sorry. Let's not have a shitty flight next to each other. Name's Charlie. I put my hand towards him after he's done putting on his seatbelt.
Victor.
He says, gripping my hand and shaking it. It's like shaking hands with a shaved bear. Good God, I thought he was going to break it off with his calluses. There's a joke here somewhere about severe friction burn, but I'm going to take the high road. I smirk a bit as I notice the annoying sound of a cat getting strangled while trying to speak Vietnamese at the same time. Oh! Wait, that's the trashy-looking stewardess telling us the safety features of this POS 74 something something something. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. Hey, I'm a comedian. Not a person who pays attention. God, I hate this air. I hear her blather on about the emergency exit, and if you feel you can't perform the function that we need to ask to be moved... Hey, this plane is full. Might as well not even bother. Plus, I have Victor, the jerk face sitting next to the door, anyway. Well, Victor, looks like it's up to you and me to save these people if we go down, I remark, trying to lighten my faux pas.
Judging by how you look and our first impression, I'm guessing I'll be doing all the work while you mouth off. Last thing a plane in danger needs is some guy who thinks he's a comedian.
Well, this plane does have a comedian. I mean, that is what I do for a living.
Really? Tell me a funny joke then, Chucky, the comedian.
He cuts off his response with a series of coughs. Does he have the consumption or something? Okay. Well, how about this? I bombed so hard in Los Angeles, I'm surprised I didn't get a full cavity search and sent to Homeland Security for being a weapon of mass suckage. I smile wryly as I do.
Huh. You're right,
he says with a slight wheeze. Told you I was a comedian. I beam a bit.
Not about that. About the mass suckage.
He faces forward and plops his head down on the window. Dick? I think to myself as he coughs again. As I watch him attempt to evacuate his lungs, I see a disgusting red blotch on his neck. Aw, ew. What is that? Is that the herp? I'm going to convince myself it's the herp. That way, when I talk about this ass hat on stage, I can have even more conviction. I shut my eyes as the plane gets ready for takeoff. The air is just suffocating. Sitting next to Coffee Hurt Man over here is no way helping me out. Just a few hours, I'll be back on terra firma, sucking in Portland. I awake to a sound. I realize I dozed off. How long could I have been asleep? People are murmuring amongst themselves loudly. Jesus Christ, what part of red eye don't you get? This air is still just as oppressive as ever. Clean, but still thick and heavy. I wonder if people blathering on are chewing that air rather than breathing it. I hear the sound again, and I notice that talking isn't what woke me up. It's Victor. I look over and see that he's face first into his air sickness bag, up chucking in a symphony of sloppy wet clumps and garbling noises, loud and obnoxious as his vomit is just flying out of his mouth into the bag. He pulls away and a long, food-laden rope of drool just hangs from his lips, slithering down to his Hawaiian shirt. Perfect camouflage. You okay over there, Victor? I ask cautiously.
Fuck does it look like? No, I'm not okay.
I notice bits of snot and food are resting on his upper lip. Clearly, he used every hole to get his stomach empty.
I fucking hate flying. Stupid job has me doing it, though.
Ooh. What do you do? I ask.
None of your business.
He doesn't even finish the retort when he's back in the bag, letting loose some serious violence. Oh god, that smell is horrendous. Like he ate a dead squirrel, shit it out, then ate it again. With some Arby's. I shudder as the stink fills my nostrils, mixing with the sterile smell, mixing with that great pressure of air, mixing with that sound of all the idiots yammering and his upheavals. I see that rash on his neck. At first it was gross, but now it was sickening. The rash had covered just the side of his neck when I first saw it, but now I see it covered his entire neck and lower jaw. And worse, it was populated with little tiny pustules, small and white or yellow things that undulated with each of his retchings. I swear, at some moment those things could pop. What the fuck was wrong with him? Worse, is it contagious? Yeah. Going through puberty there, bucko? I asked timidly. He attempts an expletive and instead pukes. Okay, I can't handle this right now. Too much. I get up and I walk to the lavatory. Somehow, the lavatory of a plane always seems to be less confined than the actual cabin, which makes no fucking sense, but hey, nothing in this world does. Like Victor's stomach pyrotechnics and his... What is that shit on his neck? I relieve myself and wash up. Toss some water on my face, wipe down. I look into the mirror at myself and try to smile. It's hard. It's hard to smile, but hey, I'm a comedian. I gotta smile. How can I make someone else smile if I can't? I force myself. There we go. Charlie the comedian. The sucky comedian who screwed up his chance in LA. I wipe the moisture from the rest of my face and straighten up. Then, my suspicions about Victor get a hard kick in the balls. There on my neck. Red. Bright red. A rash right on my neck. That was there before, right? Right? Razor burn. Yeah, no, that was razor burn. No, it's too late for that. At this time of night, I would have noticed it by now. No, Victor gave me something. Whatever is fucking him up is now getting ready to pummel me. God. Fuck, Okay. Let's get some control, Charlie the comedian. Whew, you're going home. You're gonna get home, get this thing checked out at the free clinic, go bomb somewhere else, but at least be home. Oh, god damn this air. This insufferable, sterile, chunky air of the airplane. It's in the lavatory too now. Okay. I walk out of the lavatory. I want to sigh, take a deep breath, but no. I'm not gonna let this air back into me more than I have to. Make my way back to my seat. My seat right next to Victor. Victor the vomit machine. Victor the man whose neck is covered in pustule rashes. Victor the dickhead who probably gave me something. I sit down and he's no longer puking, thank God. He's asleep, just laying his head against the emergency exit door's window, just awkwardly stretched, since the window is a good few feet from the seat. Awkwardly stretched out, giving the full view of his nasty-looking neck. Just giving me every raised bit of skin, every globe of yellowish pus, every bit of whatever infection he's given me. No, I'm not this bad. Am I gonna get this bad? Do I even have it? I mean, God, I don't know. I'm gonna shake him awake and ask him what he has. God, oh, this air sucks. I reach out and grab his arm and give it a shake. Hey man, I need to know what the fuck is on your neck. Just as I finish the last word, he snaps his face towards me. I think he says,
"Dude, fuck off."
Sheepishly, but I'm not listening. No, all I'm focused on is that one of those pustules burst open like a water balloon on his neck, squirting a stream of clear fluid mixed with swirls of cadaverous white pus right onto the hand I shook him with, like some sort of defense system. I feel the warm stream slide slowly down my hand, leaving a wet trail on my skin as it aims to fall on the floor. I lose it. My hands fly to the sick bag as I feel my throat engorge with the contents of my stomach. I feel bile and stomach acid mixing with food, filling my mouth and nose as it hurls out of my face into the bag, heaving repeatedly in sloppy wet chumps like Victor. Just like Victor. I pull away when I'm devoid of anything. God, I could smell the air through my own vomit. How can I smell through my own vomit? I look to Victor. He's back asleep already. He didn't even clean that pus wound on his neck. The hole breathes when he breathes, opening and closing as his neck rises and falls with his breath, breathing in this goddamn air. How could he be so calm and sleeping when he's clearly diseased? God fucking damn it. I don't know what he's giving me. I don't know if I can take another second in this air, this sterile air. What's he giving me? What's he infected me with? Just sitting next to me. God! How much worse is it now that he's touched me? We're gonna end up infecting this entire plane. This sterile air-riddled plane. I gotta get away. No place to sit, no place to go. The lavatory is filled with the air too. The cockpit is filled with air. Below deck is filled with air. It's pressurized air. It's everywhere. It's circulating, and it's circulating this disease of Victor's. It's giving it to everyone. Marinating in it. I'm incubating in it. Only safe place is outside. It's outside the plane. Outside. Silver lining! Ha! We're sitting right next to the damn emergency exit. Motherfucking silver lining. I fling my hands to the door's emergency handle and yank it up as hard as I can. See you in the funny pages, jerkasses. Enjoy your disease. I'm getting the fuck out of here, cause Charlie the comedian is going places.